Hey everybody, theBRUCE, the older brother Deconstruction here. Now before I get started, just wanted to give a quick channel update, kind of explain where I've been for a while. I don't know if you could tell by the layout, but I have moved. Yeah. So, finally got things set up to my liking to get this video knocked out. So with that out of the way, let's jump right in. Now, I don't know much about the going-ons of getting a movie to be produced. Don't work in movies. I'm not a studio executive. I'm not out here greenlighting projects. So I don't know how the thought process of everything like that goes. But it would make sense that if I'm financing, choosing the director, release date, putting all this money behind it, I should have some say in the final product. But on the other end, if you hire me because you want my vision of what this movie can be, you should kind of give me some leeway. I can see both ends of it. Now, with that said, this video, what I'm about to get into, is executive meddling. So in this first episode of what I hope I can turn into a series, kind of got other episodes planned, we'll see how this one goes first. We're going to talk about Justice League.
Shall we?
Justice League is the 2017 movie released by Warner Brothers, based off the DC comic of the same name. This movie received mixed reviews at best, and while it made more than its budget, we don't know how much to take out for marketing and so on and so forth. Now, before I get into the meddling side of things, let's figure out how we got here. 10 years before its release, Warner Brothers had announced they had hired husband and wife writing duo Michelle and Kieran Mulroney to pen the script, originally under the working title of Justice League Mortal. After submitting the script in June of 2007 to positive feedback, the film was fast-tracked into production, hoping to get going before the 2007-2008 writer's strike, which it kind of fell victim to. Now, Warner Brothers originally looked at this as kind of a bigger movie to kind of wrap its head around. So going into it, after directors and everything was brought in, they did not want to retain a cast of Superman Returns, the 2006 movie, which was a commercial failure, and Batman Begins. They did not want to bring in Brandon Routh or Christian Bale kind of to distance themselves from those properties, so they're not kind of entwined with, well, we have to have these people available, so no other work or the projects that they were on could be under production. Director George Miller was then signed on to direct in September of 2007, and a tentative budget of $220 million was placed on the film. While going into casting, as I said previously, George Miller wanted young actors who can grow into the roles and they can kind of be locked in for a while. DJ Cortona was then brought in to play Superman, and Armie Hammer was brought in to play Batman. Actor-rapper Common was brought in to play Green Lantern, Jon Stewart's. Australian actress/model Megan Gale was brought in to play Wonder Woman. Adam Brody was brought in to play Flash, Barry Allen's version. Hugh Key Burns cast an unknown role, kind of rumored to be Martian Manhunter. And Santiago Cabrera was brought in to play Aquaman, which was revealed after the cancellation of the movie. On the villain side of things, they brought in Jay Baruchel to play Maxwell Lord and Tessa Palmer to play Talia al Ghul. As I stated earlier, the writer's strikes did happen and kind of put the halt on the movie going forward. And then during this time, Warner Brothers let the actors' options lapse. And then in February 2008, a year after its original getting the gears going, the writer's strike ended and the movie was then fast-tracked again. Now, Miller and Warner Brothers wanted to get this movie started immediately, but the start of everything was pushed back 3 months from February. Originally, it was supposed to be filmed in Australia, and then while some filming or setting up did take place in Australia, the production didn't really get the tax credit when you hire your production staff or workers to be I think it's 40% Australian. They didn't receive that tax credit, so they moved it to Canada, like one does. Caused film to get pushed back once again to July of 2008. I will continue production delays. They kind of got blindsided by their own work, with The Dark Knight being released in July 2008. Being a hugely successful movie, it's kind of got Warner Brothers thinking. That thought was, what if we do solo movies first? Let's have Christopher Nolan continue his Dark Knight trilogy, his Batman trilogy. Let's kind of greenlight other movies. How about Green Lantern? Why the fuck would you do that? Then also, they kind of pushed The Flash and the Wonder Woman movie into development hell because it's Warner Brothers. They also brought aboard Zack Snyder to star in his Superman movie, Man of Steel, bringing us kind of the present day and the start of what has tentatively been called the DC Extended Universe. Now, let's get into the changes that Warner Brothers wanted for Justice League. Before we get into this though, let's kind of go back to Batman vs. Superman, the predecessor to Justice League, I guess, because this is stupid. But some of the changes kind of push forward of what will happen later with Justice League. The main factor in Yawn of Justice is Warner Brothers wanted the movie to be shorter, originally slated to be a 3-hour production. Would have been a slog to get through. They pushed it back to roughly 2.5 hours, kind of cutting out some major plot points because you do that one, you knock off more than a half hour worth of the footage. Moving on to Justice League. After some internal debate, the studio decided to keep Zack Snyder on because firing him they thought would be a bad look, but they also decided to keep him on a smaller and tighter leash after the ratings disaster that was Batman vs. Superman. Screenwriter Chris Terrio states that in the original script, based off of Zack Snyder's story, the movie was supposed to take place in a dystopian future. Warner Brothers not liking how one of the major feedbacks and cause of negative reviews was how dark the story was in Batman and Superman, did not want that at all. After the tragedy that Zack Snyder's personally endured, Warner Brothers decided to bring on Zack Snyder to write and direct some reshoots, kind of trying to get him to lighten the tone to make it more acceptable to a larger audience. With the changes in the mid-production, the film had to be delayed to kind of get the positive effects and everything going out. But Warner Brothers refused to push the release date back and decided to stick to the original 2017 release date, which gave us the now iconic Superman upper lip thing. Yeah. Now you can see signs of the meddling, or another term, studio interference, by the removing Superman from all promotional marketing, the mixed reviews to the poor special effects, and it basically underperforming. Now, they also released a Snyder Cut, which also had other things lobbed into it, like Snyder was vetoed on using Jon Stewart as the Green Lantern in his film because they kind of didn't want to. I mean, it would have been a waste to put him in this movie going forward when you can save him and launch in the future, but there's still going to be interference on their part. So, with this film, most of the meddling came from the direction that Snyder wanted to go with the universe and what Warner Brothers wanted, kind of making it more modular and making it more accessible to general audiences, better than the darker turn would have gone. And one of the, I guess, successful things that you can say, or one of the positive things to come out of it, is the establishing of the new overhaul of the DC Films division, bringing in Walter Hamada to become its president in an attempt to stem more executive meddling or studio interference. But, as always, you still get your interference on that end. So that's just a small breakdown or some little history that I thought I can try to do to see if I can get a series pop on off of this. I've been bored, been mingling. This is kind of one of the ideas that I've had in a while. So this will hopefully be the first episode of the studio interference or executive meddling series. As always, I'm the older brother, Deconstruction of Bruce. Thanks for watching.